Covered in this lesson are introduction, polygons, quadrilaterals, properties of quadrilaterals, types of quadrilaterals, wherein we will talk about parallelogram, rectangle, rhombus and square. Now when you talk about shapes, you see a variety of shapes around you. In fact, there are so many objects that we see around us, and these objects have so many different shapes. Now look at some of the examples. For example, star. When you look at the shape of a star, it has four sharp arms which are seen very distinctly. Again, when you compare the shape of a star with that of a sun, do you think that they have similar shapes? Not really. A sun is like more of a sphere, of a circular shape. Again, when you compare these things with something like a door or the window, so what are their shapes? So they are somewhat in the shape of a rectangle. Now these are the shapes that we are going to talk about in more detail in this lesson. You think of a kite. The shape of a kite, again the shape of a kite and the shape of the door, they are not exactly similar. They are different from each other, but at least both of these are like kind of formed by line segments. But still they are also different from each other. You think of the shape of a heart. That's again quite a different shape. So there are so many objects around us, and we see all of them with different and distinct shapes. So in this lesson, we are going to analyze these shapes. Now analyzing these shapes, we have concluded that curves can be of two types. It can either be a closed curve or it can be an open curve. So what is a closed curve? Closed curve is one which has no end points. So basically it encloses an area within it. So look at these images. So in all of these shapes, what do you see? You see that there is no concept of start point and end point. You don't know from where it started, from where you started drawing this, because you really can't determine looking at this. There is no start point, no end point. At the same time, there is some area enclosed within it. For example, here this is the area enclosed. Here this is the area enclosed. Here this is the area enclosed. So basically these type of shapes, they form a boundary. So they enclose the entire region within that boundary. So these are called closed curves. Now the other type of curve, they are called open curve. Now what are open curve? So these curves, they do have end points, but they do not have any area enclosed. So let us look at some of the images here. So these shapes, if you see, this is the start point, this is the end point, or it could be vice versa as well, but you can actually very distinctly see these 2 points. So you know from where it started, you know from where it ended. So basically the end points exist. Similarly, you look at this line segment. Here also you have 2 distinct points from where it started and from where it ended. Look at this angle. Here also you have, even though the shape is like haphazard, not a straight line or a straight curve, but still you have 2 end points. Now here, do you think that there is any area enclosed within this curve? No. When you draw a line, there is no area enclosed by the line. So everything on either side of the line is like free and open. So the line doesn't enclose any area. Similarly, you look at this angle. So is this area an area enclosed? No, because it is open from here, right? So anybody can come, anybody can go. So it is not completely enclosed. Now so to enclose this area, there should have been another line segment here. And the moment we draw another line here, it becomes a closed curve. So it doesn't remain an open curve anymore. So this is how we can distinguish between the closed curves and the open curves. Now when you look at so many variety of shapes, you actually get to see a huge number of them, right? So looking at them, when you start analyzing, you come up with a lot of distinction. So this was the first distinction. So a very simple example I would like to illustrate, which would tell you that how can an object be an open curve and how can it be a closed curve. So for an instance, let's say you take a rope. Now as long as the rope is like kept straight, is it an open curve or a closed curve? It is an open curve because you can see the 2 ends of the rope distinctly. So this would be an open curve. But the moment you fold the same rope to form a loop like this, what happens? You do not see the open and you do not see the end points anymore, because you see it is like bound like this. So you do not see it. It's closed. Moreover, it encloses an area within it. So this is the area enclosed by this rope. So in this case, what kind of curve is this? This is a closed curve. So this is how we can distinguish between open curve and closed curve. Now similarly, when we analyze it further, we also find that curves again can be of two types depending on their complexity. So they could be simple curves, they could be non-simple curves. Now what are simple curves? So these are those curves which do not cross themselves. So let us look at some examples. So when you look at these curves, now when we talk about simple and non-simple curves, they are independent of open and closed curves. So when we are talking about simple curve, a simple curve can be an open curve, it can also be a closed curve. So you can have simple open curve, you can also have simple closed curve. Now if it is a simple curve, that means the curve will never cross itself. So that's very important. Now when you look at these images, this is the curve. Now this curve never crossed itself, never intersected itself. Similarly, when you look at a closed curve like this is a simple closed curve, because you see the curve never crossed itself. Now what do I mean by crossing itself? So for that, let's look at the images of non-simple curve. So the non-simple curve, they would cross themselves. So let's look at these images. So here you see the same curve, which was like, if this is a curve, then this is a simple curve. But the moment this curve crosses itself like this, it becomes a non-simple curve, because at this point the curve crosses itself. Now the same type of crossing happens in each of these images, and therefore these are non-simple curves. So that's how we can say that we can have simple open curve and we can also have simple closed curve. Now why are we talking about all this? Because we should have some idea about various shapes before we start talking about quadrilaterals, because quadrilateral also is a specific type of shape. So with this, I think it's clear which is a simple curve, which is a non-simple curve. Got some idea about shapes. Let us talk about polygon. So the word poly means many. So it is basically a shape with many sides. So it is a simple closed curve made up of only line segments. Now this again is important. So it is a simple closed curve. So it can never be an open curve. At the same time, it should never be a non-simple curve. And another criteria is that it has to be made up of only line segments, only lines. Now it can have multiple lines. That is why the name is polygon. Polygon means, poly means many. So many line segments can form a polygon. So the images that you see on the screen, they are all examples of polygon? Let us try to analyze them. The first one, is it simple? Yes, it is a simple curve because it doesn't cross itself anywhere. It is also a closed curve because it encloses a region inside it. And is it only made up of line segments? Yes, that is also true. This is a line segment, this is again a line segment, this is again a line segment, and so 4 line segments together form this simple closed curve. So this is an example of a polygon. Now let us look at number 2. Number 2 again is a closed curve. It is also a simple curve. In this case, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6 line segments form this. Therefore, this is also a polygon. Talk about this. Here also you see only line segments. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 8 line segments formed this curve. So this one is again a polygon. Number 4. Here again, this is a simple curve. This is a closed curve. But is it made up of line segments? No. So that means that is not a polygon. When you look at number 9, here also you see that it is a closed curve, but it is not a polygon because it is not made up of line segments. So in this way you can decide which out of these 12 curves are polygons and which are not. Now let me talk about one or two examples. Let's look at the image number 12. So when you look at this, it is made up of line segments, right? It is also a closed curve, but is it a polygon? It is not a polygon. Why? Because this is not a simple curve, it is a non-simple curve, because the curve crosses itself at this point. So therefore it doesn't satisfy the criteria to become a polygon, and it is not a polygon. Because many a times what happens is that children think that in order to become a polygon, the most important criteria is that they should be made up of line segments. So the moment they see line segments, they think that it is a polygon. But to become a polygon, all the three criteria should be matched. It should be a simple curve, it should be a closed curve, it should be made up of only line segments. Similarly, let's look at image number 5. So here you see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. So total 12 line segments form this. This is a closed curve. This is also a simple curve. So this is a polygon. So the rest of the images, I'll leave it up to you to decide which one is a polygon and which one is not. Now let us discuss about various categories of polygons. Now polygons can also be regular or irregular polygons. The definition of regular polygon will become more easy when we take examples. So here we will have to ensure that all the sides and all the angles are equal. So let us look at some examples. So when you look at a polygon with 3 sides, so what is a polygon with 3 sides called? It is called a triangle, right? Triangle, that is 3 angles. Now, do you think that all triangles will have all sides equal and all angles equal? No, not really. Because different triangles might have different measurements for their angles as well as sides. But there is one type of triangle which always has all the 3 sides equal and also all the angles equal. Now what is the name of that triangle? That is nothing but equilateral triangle. So equilateral triangle is an example of a regular polygon. Similarly, when you look at this example where you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 sides. So a polygon which is made up of 5 sides, that is called a pentagon. So a pentagon with all the sides equal and all angles also equal, that is also an example of a regular polygon. So this is basically a regular pentagon. Think of a square. A square also has all its sides equal, all sides are equal and all angles are equal to 90 degrees. Therefore, square is also an example of a regular polygon. So regular polygon always will have all their angles equal and all their sides equal. So what are irregular polygons? Now obviously irregular polygons would be those where all sides and all angles are not necessarily equal. They are basically not equal. Either all the 3 angles are different, or maybe 2 angles are same but 1 angle is different. So anything of that sort, but here all sides and all angles will not be equal. So think of any other triangle other than the equilateral triangle. So that would be an irregular polygon. Think of a rectangle and not a square. In rectangle we have all angles equal to 90 degrees, but the sides, all sides are not equal. Opposite sides are only equal. So this side is equal to this side. Similarly, this side is equal to this side. So rectangle is also an example of irregular polygon. You think of a parallelogram. So in case of parallelogram as well, you do not have all angles equal. So in case of parallelogram, only the opposite angles are equal. So these 2 angles are equal, again these 2 angles are equal, but not all angles are equal. And the same is true for their sides as well. Opposite sides are equal, but not all sides. So these are examples of irregular polygon. Another category or another type of polygon based on their shapes. They are convex and concave polygons. So let's first understand what are convex polygons. Now convex polygons are those whose interior angles are less than 180 degrees. So when we talk about a convex polygon, here all the interior angles are less than 180 degree. So what is 180 degree? 180 degree is straight angle. So this is 180 degree. So when we say anything less than 180 degree, this could be something like this. This could be something like this. This could be something like this. So these angles are all less than 180 degrees. So let us look at some examples of convex polygon. So if you look at this is a triangle. Now what are the interior angles? This is one, this is one, this is one, and all of these are less than 180 degree, of course, because they are even less than 90 degree. So 180 would have been something like this. Had this been this entire angle, so that would have been 180 degree. So here all of them are less than 180 degree. Look at this pentagon. So what are the interior angles? This, 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 this and this. Now look at any of them, they are all less than 180 degrees. Now give an example of an angle which is more than 180 degree. So when you look at this angle, for example, this angle is an example of an angle which is more than 180 degree. Right? But in this case, we are talking only about the interior angles, and all interior angles are less than 180 degrees. So look at the square. So here all angles are 90 degrees, which is again less than 180. So this is also a convex polygon. So this is what signifies which one is a convex polygon and which one is a concave polygon. So look at all these examples, they are all convex polygon, and I am sure, needless to say, you know why they are convex, because their angles are all less than 180 degrees. So now that we have discussed these examples of convex polygon, let's talk about concave polygons. The word concave already has the term cave in it. So when you look at these concave polygons, they would give you this cave-like structure. As you see here, this gives you a cave-like shape, everywhere. In all the shapes you see, you get to see that cave thing. So in concave polygon, at least one interior angle is greater than 180 degrees. Now, as long as all interior angles are lesser than 180 degrees, they remain convex. But the moment any one angle is greater than 180 degrees, it becomes a concave. So if one or more than one interior angle is greater than 180 degrees, then that type of a polygon is a concave polygon. And the moment one of these angles become greater than 180 degrees, it forms a cave-like structure. Like as you see in the first image. Here you see, look at this angle. This is an interior angle. So this interior angle is more than 180 degrees, because 180 degrees could have been somewhat like this till here. So it is more than 180 degrees. Now since it is more than 180 degrees, it is forming this cave-like structure. Similarly, when you look at this angle, this is also more than 180. This is also more than 180. This is also more than 180. But these angles, they are lesser than 180. Let's look at this diagram. So here you see, look at this angle. This is more than 180 degrees. But other than these, all other angles are less than 180. Here you have this angle more than 180. So wherever you have that angle greater than 180, there you see the cave-like thing. So here you have just one cave. Here you have one cave. Here you have four caves. Here, here, here and here. That's because you have four angles greater than 180. Similarly, in these diagrams also you have angles greater than 180 degrees, and that is why these are concave polygons. So these are the two types of polygons that we come across, convex and concave. In terms of a polygon, every polygon has a very important parameter which is called a diagonal. Now, what is a diagonal of a polygon? So it is a line segment that connects two non-consecutive vertices of a polygon. Now, when we talk about a polygon, we talk about its sides, that is the line segments which make the polygon. So, for example, if we take example of this polygon, so this is one line segment, this is the second line segment, third, fourth and fifth, and these five line segments together form the polygon. Now, the points where the line segments are joined to each other, these points are called vertices. Now, the singular is vertex and the plural is vertices. So these are the vertices, these points, and these are the sides, the line segments which form the polygon, they are the sides. Now, if we draw a line segment such that it connects two non-consecutive vertices of the polygon. So what would be non-consecutive vertices? So here this vertex and this vertex, they are like consecutive vertex. Similarly, this vertex and this vertex, they are again consecutive vertex. But when you say this one and this one, they are non-consecutive vertices. So if you draw a line connecting these two non-consecutive vertices, that line is called a polygon. That's called a diagonal. So basically, any line drawn between two non-consecutive vertices is called the diagonal of a polygon. So all these are examples of diagonals. Now a polygon can have multiple diagonals. Now depending on how many sides the polygon has. Now a polygon which has 4 sides will have lesser number of diagonals. A polygon which has 10 sides will have more number of diagonals, because more number of sides would mean more number of vertices. More number of vertices means there could be more possibilities of line segments joining non-consecutive vertices. So let us look at some more examples. So let's take the example of a square. So in case of a square, you can have a diagonal like this. You can also have a diagonal like this. So these are the two possible diagonals for a square. You cannot have more than 2 diagonals. Similarly, you can think of a parallelogram. So this would be a diagonal. Similarly, this could be a diagonal as well. So here also you can have maximum 2 diagonals, not more than that. Now you think of other polygons like the concave polygons. So there also you have the concept of diagonal. So you can join any two non-consecutive vertices. So this is one vertex. So for this vertex, this point and this point, they are the consecutive vertices. So you join it to any other vertex. This is a diagonal. So this could be also a diagonal. This could also be a diagonal. So like that you can draw several diagonals. Similarly, you can join this point to this point, that is also a diagonal. This point to this point is again a diagonal. This to this is a diagonal. So you can have many number of diagonals. Similarly, in these figures, if you look at a simpler concave polygon, here these 2 points, if joined together, this can form a diagonal. So this is how you determine the diagonal of a polygon. Now let us look at the types of polygon depending on the number of sides. Now a polygon with 3 sides is called a triangle. So this is a triangle. Tri means 3. So 3 angles, that's a triangle. So here it has 3 sides, and when you look at a triangle, how many diagonals do you have? Do you even have a diagonal for a triangle? Now since in case of triangle, this vertex, if you consider, these are the 3 vertices, right? Let's name them. Let's say this is ABC. So if ABC is a triangle, point A, point B, point C, they are all the vertices. Now if you look at A, now is there any non-consecutive vertex for A? No, because both B and C are the consecutive vertices for A. Therefore, there is no non-consecutive vertex. Therefore, the number of diagonals that are possible in a triangle is 0. Now, you might say that why did we start with 3? Can't we have a polygon with 2 sides? We can't have a polygon with 2 sides, because if you have 2 sides, this is how it will be. It will be an open curve. It will not form a closed curve, and a polygon has to be a simple closed curve. So therefore, with 2 sides, you cannot form a polygon. Can you form a polygon with 1 side? Definitely not, because in this case, it is not a closed curve again. So in order to become a polygon, you need minimum 3 sides. And of course, you can have more sides. For example, polygons with 4 sides. So these polygons are called quadrilateral. So the word quad comes from 4. So now there are many different types of quadrilaterals. That is, in some quadrilaterals, all sides will be equal. Some quadrilateral opposite sides will be parallel. Some quadrilaterals, the adjacent sides will have some relations. So basically, there are many types of quadrilateral. Now similarly, a polygon with 5 sides is called a pentagon. Penta means 5. So it is a pentagon. 6 sides would be, any guesses? 6 has come from hexa. So 6 sides would be hexagon. Similarly, 7 sides would be heptagon. 8 sides would be octagon, and so on. So thus we see that any polygon which has number of sides 3 or greater than 3, so it could be 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. So we can say that any simple closed curve with n sides can be called as an n-gon. So that is how the naming convention is. So looking at this, you can guess pretty easily that there are many different types of polygons that can exist. Now, thank you. Please visit examfear.com for free quality education.